why are you the way that you are? Like, unless you're manifesting that, then not only the outcome, you're always going to be disappointed and always going to be. Hi guys, I'm back. I hope you're all doing well. It's Saturday today and I decided to take some time and sit down to film a new video for you guys, and I wanted to do like chit chatty one. I know like a lot of my videos have been kind of like talky ones, but that's kind of the videos that I enjoy filming the most. I love just like sitting down on my bed having a little like one-on-one chat with you guys, kind of like girl talk. But today I wanted to do a video all on kind of staying motivated and sticking to your goals, especially during lockdown. This can just be in general, to be honest. Like, even if you're not in lockdown, motivation and staying like consistent can be pretty difficult. So I wanted to make this video just to give you some like actionable tips on like keeping yourself accountable and kind of keeping yourself motivated during times like being in lockdown, where you're not able to go out properly and see loads of different people. When I go to different places and meet new people, like I get really inspired that way. But obviously that's not really that possible during lockdown. So I wanted to make this video, as I know a lot of you are probably struggling with like even mental health and just, you know, feeling out of routine. So yeah, I wanted to do this video to help you guys kind of talk through that and some of the ways that I have learned to deal with it. At the moment, I feel like this is our 6th week in lockdown, I think, and it's, for me, I feel like it's gone really quickly. I am extremely blessed to be living like by the beach and having that outlet to go on walks every morning and evening, and you know, go on walks with people, and that's like really lucky. But obviously not everyone has that, and some people are like in more suburban areas and they don't have that like outlet. But walking is definitely a thing that anyone can do no matter where you are, and it really just helps kind of clear your head and get in new ideas and feel inspired. And the way that I do this is, I'm not walking with someone, I listen to a podcast, and I just feel so inspired after. And just depending on my mood, depending on, you know, how I feel, I will listen to a podcast that kind of like fits my mood. I mostly listen to, well, I pretty much all listen to like self-development podcasts. I can leave some suggestions in the links below actually. But yeah, podcasts such as like self-development ones on like your mind, learning about, you know, how people interact, how people get inspired and motivated, like what are the success principles, I guess, and like success habits, that always like leaves me feeling so motivated. And there's so many podcasts, you don't even have to listen to self-development ones, but I feel like that's a time for me to really like listen and concentrate. Whereas like if I'm listening to a podcast whilst I'm doing something, my focus isn't fully there. So walking and listening to a podcast honestly keeps me motivated, and doing that first thing in the morning as well. Honey, you're gonna get motivated by doing that, because when you wake up and say you wake up and you do your morning routine, I mean, I've done a video on my morning routine, I think, or I've got an article on my website which I launched like not too long ago, about a few weeks ago. It's called Guide Me Glow if you don't know about it. But every week there's a new article on there to do with either mind, body and spirit, and I kind of write all my tips. And at the moment I'm in the process of writing a guide, and it's kind of like a program. It's gonna be a 3-month program, not all at once though. So, but I'll explain about that later once I get more into it, but I'm really excited about that. So check out my page, Guide Me Glow. It's my new like wellness platform, which I'm really excited to properly launch. But yeah, anyway, off topic, going back to like my morning routine. When you get out and you're out in the nature, I don't know why I said the nature. When you move, it creates more energy, so it makes you feel more motivated and more like you're doing something. Whereas like if you're sitting down all day and you're like inside and you're not really doing much, that makes you feel more tired. Because I don't know if you ever noticed, like when I am sat down all day at my desk and I'm doing my admin work, and then I start to feel like really demotivated after like a few hours and not giving myself breaks, it's because you're just sat there in the same position. Your body is not like moving, you're not getting your energy, your blood is not flowing, like you just feel really stagnant. So when I feel like that, I get up and I do workout, if I haven't done it in the morning, or go on a walk, and that's usually like Pilates or just like a home workout, and I just instantly feel so much more energy. Like it's just changed like the dynamics of my day. And it's because when you're moving and you're getting your blood pumping, that is creating more energy and it's creating more motivation. And then after that you like, you know, do something else and you're like back on it. So like try not to stay in the same space or same spot like all day, because you're gonna feel like really demotivated. I notice, because like sometimes when I'm just sat in one place for too long, like I just start to feel like all motivation just goes and I'm like, what am I doing? Set your intentions for the day. That's another one. Like, you know, I know everyone has their own morning routine, and for my one, people might see that's quite extreme, and it does take some time, but for me it's like so worth it and I really enjoy the process. But honestly, like setting my intentions and knowing what I'm doing in the day is so important, because I know like what I need to do in the day. And don't overdo it. Like don't write like 10 things on your list and think you'll be able to do it, and then at the end of the day you haven't done it, so then you're like, oh, like I haven't done enough. Like don't do that. Just be realistic and set like 1 or 2 things that you can do today, and also know that if you don't do it, that's okay. Just know that you don't need to always be doing something or achieving something to be or feel worthy. Like you could do nothing all day and just sit there and like you are still worthy and enough. But what's going to make you feel better about yourself are doing these things that's going to help you reach your goals, and it's going to make you feel more positive. Getting them down on paper really helps you stay focused, because if I'm like going about my day and I'm like, like what am I actually doing, I'll go back to my notepad or my, oh, it's here, my daily goal setters. It's for mile paper. It's like one of my favorite things. I have this and my journal that I like literally use every day, and I just write down my daily tasks. Like today, you know, I've got like done my morning routine, sunrise walk, Pilates, finish editing YouTube video, do some content, emails for my blog posts, and then like a sunset walk. Like I've just written all the things that I want to do today, and then I also write down like what I'm grateful for and like my daily affirmations and some things just to remember. And you know, if I'm going about my day and I'm like, right, okay, what have I done? And I'm like, okay, I've done content, I'm gonna take that off, like just that kind of thing. And it just helps me stay like accountable. And I don't know about you, but it's so satisfying for me to like check something off the list. I know not everyone's brains works like that, but for me it's like so satisfying, so I like doing that. But yeah, just like keeping yourself accountable that way is really important, to keep you motivated and keep the momentum going, because I think it's like the second you stop the momentum, it makes it really difficult to like keep going, because like you've stopped and you're just like there scrolling on your phone or just like not really doing much. So yeah, do that and set your intentions for the day, because when you don't do that, I just feel like the day just goes by before you even know it. It's like 7 PM and you're like, what have I actually done today? So you don't need to plan it like every minute, but like just kind of having a rough idea like really helps me anyways. And also setting goals. I definitely have an article on how to set goals that actually work. You know, setting goals, there's so many ways to go about it, but like specific goals are really important, and also not focusing so much on the outcome, because if you focus on only the outcome, you're always going to be disappointed and always going to be chasing for the next goal. So instead, focus on the process and enjoy the process and the journey. And I know you've probably heard that before, but honestly, it's so important, because when you focus on the process and the journey, you are enjoying every moment. And well, not every moment, maybe not, but you learn like all the lessons during that process. Whereas like, for example, so say you have your goal body and you have like this dream physique and you're like, I want to get there. If you were to wake up tomorrow and you had that goal physique, you would probably not know how to upkeep that. So you'd probably go back to like old ways of eating or not like moving or just that kind of thing. It's the same way if you woke up tomorrow and you were like a millionaire, you're probably not going to understand how to keep that money. And that's why loads of people that win the lottery actually go like they lose all it or like a few years later, because they haven't developed those like millionaire mindset habits. So yeah, kind of enjoying the process and learning all the things it takes to get to the outcome is extremely important. So don't rush it and don't get frustrated by not seeing results. And I know it can be hard. you know, we get impatient and we're like, girl, where are these results? But that is, you know, you have to take yourself back and be like, look, I know I'm gonna get there because I'm doing all this work to get there. I know I'm gonna get there, so have trust and belief that you will get there, but kind of learn to really enjoy the process, because it becomes your lifestyle at the end of the day. Like, you know, to maintain your dream body, it's not like you achieve it and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go back to like not moving and eating like shit. You would upkeep that healthy lifestyle, because that's what that kind of person does. And you know, I have to keep reminding myself, like, if I want a certain goal, I need to keep acting as if I've already achieved it, because those are the habits that I need to keep doing to get there. Because if I don't, and if I give up, then I'm not going to get there. And as much as I really believe in like manifestation and kind of thinking, you know, these positive thoughts and these things that help me get there, like, you need to do the work, the physical work as well, to show the universe that you want it. Because if you don't, you can't just say like, you know, I really want this, and then just sit there and like not do anything. Like, you know, you need to like show and create action, create this energy, align yourself with that goal, and you will get there. So I'm gonna move on from like those type of things, because I know that, you know, with motivation, there's loads of things that can motivate someone, but I think evidently it's really just going back to like knowing that you're worth it and you're worthy of achieving those goals, and not doing it for any other reason but for yourself. Because when you don't do it for yourself, it's really hard to stick to it. Whereas when you do it for yourself and you know that it's because you truly want this, you're gonna, like, when you have that self-respect and self-worth for yourself, or self-love for yourself, like, it brings a whole new dynamic to it. Like, it just, you know, it's for you, and you're like, you know, you can do it, and you want to prove to yourself, not to anyone else. And that's another thing, like, don't compare your journey to anyone else, because everyone's journey is so different, it's so individual. Like, we're all so unique, and we all have our place on this world, that you don't need to, sorry, that's my speaker. You don't need to compare your journey to someone else. Like, someone at 24 to someone who's 27, like, they are at two completely different, or someone who with the same age, someone who's 24 and another person who's 24, they could be at two different spectrums of like where they are at life. Like, one person could be like married, kids, and then another one could be like still single, like loving life, doing her own thing, like blah blah. Both perfectly fine, but don't ever compare, because your time will come exactly how like it's meant to come. I think that's another thing that I've learned, is just like always having that trust that whatever happens, like, as long as I'm doing it with like a kind heart, and you know, I'm doing everything I can do to like try and make what I'm trying to do happen, whatever happens, it's like meant to be. And I think that goes back to the whole thing of not focusing on the outcome and just detaching yourself from that. Because when you hold yourself so much to an outcome, it's like you're worrying about the future, or you're dwelling on the past. Like, that thing can change so easily. So it's like when you keep focusing on the outcome, you're not fully like present in the moment, if that makes sense. That's the whole thing about enjoying the journey, is like being present in the moment and all that kind of thing. But another thing to keep motivated in lockdown is honestly reach out to people, reach out to your friends. Like, everyone's in the same boat, everyone's feeling a little bit like same, you know, nothing crazy new is going on, I guess. Unless you're manifesting that, then great. Because a lot of big things are happening during lockdown. Like, it's time for us to really tune in and focus on ourselves. And I feel like this second round lockdown has taught me a lot to like look within, and I've been spending a lot of it alone actually, and I've actually enjoyed that, because I've really got to know myself more and question myself, and I've hit like lows but then come out on such highs, and that's just life. It's like, it's never like a linear thing. You're never always going to be one level, and you're never always going to be like happy all the time, but that's okay, because it's healthy to feel all emotions, and you shouldn't avoid them either. Don't resist them. It's, you know, feel all your emotions, and understand that even if it's lower vibration emotions such as sadness or worry or whatever, feel them, but then don't let it define you, because your emotions are not you. Like, you are your character and the way that, like, your mindset, evidently. So your thoughts and emotions, like, they're not always true, and that's why self-development to me is so important, because it's like you're always refreshing your mind and you're like getting rid of old limiting beliefs and coming in with new ones. But sometimes those old limiting beliefs come back because it's like hard to fully let go of them, like if you haven't kind of installed those new beliefs long enough. So you just need to remember, you know, that's a thought, but it's not necessarily true. For example, like if you're knocked down and you're feeling lonely and your thoughts are, I'm so lonely, no one's reaching out to me, like I have nothing to do, blah blah. If you keep thinking like that, like you're gonna create more of that, because life is just a mirror. You attract what you are, essentially, in many ways, and it manifests in many ways, or your past and that kind of thing. So you need to switch that mindset and really think, okay, well, you know, if I want to create a new reality, I need to start doing the actions and aligning myself with that new energy. So if you want to be busy during lockdown and feeling happy and feeling like just really great about yourself, you're gonna have to do things that align with that. So that is like doing more self-development, like reading more books, journaling, like feeling your emotions and thinking like, why am I the way that I am? Like, I just think that's so interesting. Like, why are you the way that you are? Like, why do you think certain things like that? Like, and are they true? Like, who taught you that, really? So it's important to like dig deep and really like keep writing it down, journaling. Oh my god, it's so good. It's like your own therapist, basically. And then, you know, once you find these kind of wounds, you can then listen to podcasts or like YouTube videos, really understand why you think that way. And then you can reach out to friends, and you know, that creates more like happiness, because obviously us as humans, we crave connection. So reach out to your friends, because they might be feeling the same way. Like, just because they're not reaching out to you doesn't mean that they don't want to speak to you, like I'm sure they do. So, you know, make the first move. Like, don't always wait for things to happen to you. You know, take responsibility of your life and take action. I think there's a difference between thinking like life is always happening for you, but don't wait for things to happen to you. So, you know, if you want a certain thing, like go out and get it, because like someone else is gonna get it. Do you know what I mean? Your time is like your own time, and there's always room for like everyone, but at the same time, it's like those who are driven and take action first, like they're gonna be reaping the rewards, rather than like you sitting on your ass not doing anything. So yeah. So for example, the other day I was just feeling a little low, like I was letting my emotions get to me, and I just, yeah, wasn't having a great day, to be honest. And I just like sat there, and sometimes you need to experience those moments to really like get yourself out of it. And that's often when you uncover like the realist you, and like you come out on a high, because to really understand yourself, sometimes you have to almost like lose yourself a little bit, in the way of like feeling like you don't have it all together. And that's when you begin questioning and looking deeper, and then coming out feeling better. So at each low that you reach, really see that as an opportunity to grow. Like, feel the emotions, but don't let it like, you know, ponder, and just don't like sit in it for too long, because that's just like repeating your same emotions. It's not really like productive, to be honest. It's, yeah. So instead, acknowledge them, but then think of things like, how can I turn this around and look at it from a new perspective? And or what can I do? If you can't do that, what can I do that makes me feel good? So for me, it was, you know, I started a new day, and I was like, I'm gonna make sure I do this, my morning routine, like fully. Like, I want to journal, I want to meditate, I want to go on a walk, I want to like review my goals again. Like, I have them all written out and I read them every day. I want to do my affirmations, I want to make a really nice breakfast, I want to just do all these things that I know make me feel good. And I felt great. Because like when you do these things that nourish your soul, it's like you're acting in alignment with what you want. Whereas if you're like wallowing in this like a negative vibe, you're gonna attract more of that, because at the end of the day, we're always manifesting. No matter if you think you are or not, we are manifesting like our life as we speak. Vibrations of our thoughts, our actions, our energy, like everything, we're like manifesting what's coming next. So, you know, if you want to feel great about yourself, and you want to start like doing things and like achieving more and whatever, just feeling happy and whole within yourself, you've got to start feeling it now, because the whole thing is like, you're never gonna feel it if you don't kind of accept where you are now and even love yourself now, because like even when you get there, you'll always have this feeling of a lack of self-worth, and so you feel like you're not worthy of it. And that's when other things like self-sabotage come in, because you feel like even if when you do reach that goal, you don't feel like you're worthy of it, so then you do things to self-sabotage yourself and you go back to your old self. And oh my god, I've done that before. I literally realized this the other day. Like, I was on a walk with my friend and I was like that happens to so many people. Like, for example, I'd probably say like a few years ago, I like lost a lot of weight, not in like a bad way. I look back and I was like, whoa, like I lost a lot of weight, but it was through very strict training and eating, and it wasn't great on my mindset in terms of like, it just wasn't, yeah. I think I've kind of told my fitness story before, or if not, I can make a video on it, but I was very obsessed with the whole image of how I looked, the way that I trained. I was very strict, all that. And anyway, so I got to my goal weight, I guess. I was very lean, but then I started like experiencing, I mean, this is also like psychological, but like I started binge eating and that whole cycle, and then I gained more weight and blah blah blah. But I was thinking like maybe that was a form of self-sabotage, because I didn't love myself to start with. I was always striving for the next thing, like leaner abs, bigger bum, like all this kind of thing. When I got there, I still didn't feel like I was worthy, so then I always self-sabotaged myself to, you know, with binge eating and stuff, and that's obviously you gain weight from that. And now I feel like finally I feel more balanced and like so happy within myself, because I know that I'm just gentle and kind to myself. Like I know I don't need to change myself to feel worthy or kind, and sometimes I still have to remind myself that, because look, no one's perfect and I'm not every day like, you know, I'm amazing. Like sometimes I don't feel like that, but I have to keep reminding myself that I am that. And the more you do that, the more you kind of reinforce this idea of enoughness. Like things just start flowing to you effortlessly, and you know, getting your results that you want and opportunities, like it surrounds you, because that's just your core belief. Like I just believe that I'm worthy of all that, like why wouldn't it come, kind of thing. I hope that makes sense. And I feel like I kind of derailed from like motivation in lockdown, but I think because it just comes down to self-worth and self-love at the end of the day. Like I just think that is the main thing. Like with anything, it just comes down to fully loving yourself and just accepting where you are now. And even if it's not exactly where you want to be, just accept where you are now, and you know, do the things that will help you get to where you want to go out of love. And also that doesn't mean not being completely disciplined at all. I think discipline is a great thing. It helps you level up, it helps you get to your goals better, but it's about being lovingly disciplined and doing it out of love because of how you'll feel after. So, you know, with exercising, you might not feel like doing it at this very moment, but if you know that you will feel better after doing it, then do it, because that is being lovingly disciplined, because you're doing it out of love, out of care. You know that you'll feel better after. So it's like looking after a baby almost, like for example, or toddler, whatever. Your toddler's having like a little hissy fit because it wants to go out and play, but you know that you're not gonna let it go out and play, because later it has a little play date with his friends or whatever. So you're like, you're not gonna play right now because we're going out later and you're gonna get tired if you play now, and we don't have time. So the baby is obviously gonna be like holding a hissy fit because like, I want it now, you know, instant gratification. But you know, because you have like that wider view, you know the right thing to do, so you hold that discipline for the baby out of love. So that's kind of the same thing what you should be doing to yourself. I don't know if that really makes sense, but I feel like that makes sense, kind of. I also heard that analogy on a podcast. I think it was from Manifestation Babe, and she was saying something about the baby analogy and saying how like even with the universe, trust the universe, because the universe has a wider vision of everything. You just know what the next step is, whereas the universe knows like everything. So like whatever happens for you, like if you're not happy with it at the time, like there's always a reason why, because it has like a wider view, if that makes sense. So just kind of like keep working on yourself, focus on yourself, improving yourself, and doing things out of like a kind heart, and just trust that whatever happens happens, and don't get too like attached to things either. And I feel like that's something that I've really started to learn. It's like, don't get so attached to things. At the end of the day, the most important thing is you and how your relationship with yourself. So don't get so attached with how others treat you, and don't take it so personally, because it's never about you. It's just always a projection from others. So how others treat you is just how they think about themselves, if that makes sense, because again, the whole thing with life is a mirror. I think that is, to be honest, the main things I had to say today. I feel like I've kind of gone on topic, but I felt like I said some good things and might help you. I'm not sure what I'm gonna name this yet, because I'm not sure. It's just about motivation, but it's kind of like self-love and motivation during lockdown. Let's keep it as that. But thank you so much for listening as per, and I hope you're all staying safe and keeping sane during lockdown. Like, I know it's a difficult time for us all, but it's a crazy time as well. Like, it's just crazy. But I think the more we look at it in a positive way and an opportunity for us to really look inwards and grow, I think that is just like the best possible way to look at it. Thank you always for your support. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.